Alrighty, good morning and happy Monday, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you caught some sunshine. Hope you took your dog for a few walks and all that good stuff. But all right, folks, jam-packed week ahead here. So we'll take a quick look at the economic calendar, just in case you're into that kind of thing. Let us see. So a couple big. Tomorrow morning, 8:30, you have the CPI report, which I'm led to believe is an important one. And then Wednesday, you got that JP special, JP and the boys. So decision at 2 o'clock, and then the man himself will rock the mic at 2:30. So things to be mindful of. But now jumping over here to these charts, the S&P futures this morning, pretty interesting open, gapping above the August highs, and now we're doing that here with the weekly squeeze, officially firing to the upside. So keep in mind, everything's extended. Tesla, Netflix, Nvidia, AMD, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple. Everything's pretty extended here. So you could see a decent flush. You could see a little bit of sideways chop. But I do think bigger picture, guys, until proven wrong, and I'll tell you when I'm proven wrong, I think we're looking for a push towards that 4,500. Not immediately, not in a straight shot. Not this week, not next week. But bigger picture, if the weekly squeeze here can work as advertised, 4, 6, 8, 10 potential weeks of continuation, and you're firing that squeeze above, what I would think for the bears, at least in the short term, is kind of like the last line in the sand. Squeeze fires long. You take out a huge level of resistance. Anybody who's short the market with their stops above that August high, they begin to feel a little bit of the pain. But then just from a simple squeeze perspective, this might be a one-hit wonder. You coiled up, build your energy, squeeze fires. Maybe it only lasts for one dot. I got to think you're going to get a lot more out of that weekly squeeze, so long as the structure and the signals all continue to lean bullish here. And then I think a big part of that, big part of getting continuation from the squeeze, and then I think working towards that 4,500 would be if the breadth in the market continues to improve. So I do think you continue to look for leadership out of your Amazons, your Googles, your Apples, your Nvidias. I don't think the party is going to stop on that end, but what I do think is if the small caps, the Dow, if the other sectors can begin to shape up a little bit more, should help the S&Ps here get the job done. So a quick look here at the equal weighted index, which of course takes all 500 names in the S&Ps and gives them all an equal weighting. Right? Everybody is equal in the RSP. Lots of improvement here last week. Good shift in structure. Back above that 21, back above that 200. A really good shift in the signals. They canceled out all the sell signals. Couple things here go bullish. And they actually get that daily squeeze to fire to the upside. A few weeks ago, Netflix is exploding, AMD is exploding, Google, Nvidia. The equal weighted index looking pretty sketchy. So you're getting a little bit of progress there. The small caps here, lots of progress. Structure shifts, the signals shift, and the squeeze fires. And then you got the Dow here. And the Dow not looking too shabby. The Dow's actually really interesting. We quickly printed a bull squeeze here off the daily chart. As of last Thursday, that fires to the upside. But then here on your weekly, the 3-day and the 2-day, you still got some bull squeezes setting up. So small caps get better, the Dow gets better, RSP gets better. And then, like the financials, for example. definitely shaping up a little bit better. Couple buy signals, nice daily squeeze, all kinds of good stuff. So again, this could be one of those weeks. All right, a lot of back and forth, a lot of volatility. But I think looking beyond this week, assuming things don't totally fall apart, that's the move I'm looking for. The daily squeeze is fired. The squeeze on that 2-day chart just fired. So that's all brand new. And most importantly, the squeeze off the weekly chart. This is going to be week number 2 of the release of that energy. So you get your 5, 6, 8+ weeks. There should be another nice leg to the upside here. Now, the key, of course, is you're trying to get good entries. And with things being a little extended, that can always be a little bit tough. But for a few things here off the watch list, guys, sticking with the theme of the weekly charts, you take Netflix here, for example. And like everything else out there, Netflix is pretty extended. But from a squeeze perspective, that squeeze here from your weekly chart, this will be week number 3 of that squeeze finally firing to the upside. You're also getting that push above a huge level of resistance, that weekly 200 SMA. So potentially that's all she wrote. And from here, Netflix kind of pulls back and just falls apart. Or you get another 2, 3, 4 weeks of momentum out of that weekly squeeze. So I think in the short term here, from that squeeze alone, we might be looking for a push towards that 450. But then as far as an entry goes, that's where it gets a little tough. You buy it up here at 420. Netflix is still a really good looking chart. Down at $400, down at 390. I think all the way back down to 380. Structured, the signals, everything would still hold up. So it's just it's being mindful of the fact that as strong as Netflix has been, it would not be the craziest thing at all to wake up one morning and this is coming back a good $20-$30. Maybe not in one morning, but y'all get the point. Like eventually, you're coming back down towards that 21. So I think any kind of flush here, if we're fortunate to get such a thing, any kind of flush, any kind of consolidation, you're trying to carve out an entry here for continuation out of that weekly squeeze. So that is top of the list here this week. And then Tesla up another $4 this morning, a modest $4. I mean, listen, guys, this thing's, y'all know how Tesla can get. All right, it'll pretty much be dead in the water, and then boom, off to the races she goes. But I do think you check out your weekly squeeze here. All right, brand new weekly squeeze that still hasn't fired to the upside just yet. That leads me to believe, as long as Tesla can hold structure, all right, as long as Tesla holds up on a pullback, maybe some consolidation, eventually I think that weekly squeeze fires to the upside. So trying to get a good entry here on Tesla. But admittedly, guys, we're at levels where, kind of like I'm doing on Tesla right now. So I've got $1,500 of risk in the 250 calls that expire this Friday. All right. If Tesla goes to 0 today and that $1,500 disappears, I've still done a good job here of making my money on this push. Like, in other words, you look at a Netflix, a Tesla, Nvidia, etc. I think we're at a pretty good point where until we get a nice flush, ideally you're playing with profits. I don't think this is this is the moment in time to wake up and say, hey, you know what? Tesla looks pretty good. I'm going to wake up today, 200 ATR above that daily 21, and now I'm going to start my bullish campaign. Now I want to start getting long Tesla. We started back here. And I generally think that's where you want to start. Now you're at a point where, playing with profits. If you've made $5,000 on the way up, keep rolling $1,000 or $15,000 into a new trade. All right, 15-minute squeeze fires long, take your profits, keep rolling out those profits. I think is ideal. So I do like some Tesla here on a flush. And then one name actually setting up near the buy zone. Old Google here. So brand new daily squeeze. Today's going to be day 2 of that squeeze printing. Oh, now here's the issue. I have no trigger right now to get long. So kind of like back here, Tesla, a little bit of chop. You print your daily squeeze. And then out of nowhere, boom, huge push. So what I've come to learn is before and during that big push off that 21 EMA, the trigger, the firecracker for that move is buy signals across your lower time frames. In that daily squeeze near that 21, if the 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute big 3 is bullish, there's a moment in time where you found a daily squeeze pretty much ready to fire. For now, the daily chart's neutral, 4-hour chart's neutral, and you got a couple bad boys here, a couple sell signals on the 2-hour, the 1-hour, and the 5-minute. So the structure is there, the squeeze is there, the signals are not here just yet. So today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if we get the template here, 15-minute, 30-minute, 5-minute, if we get our lower time frame triggers, I think this could be a nice spot to pick up some Google. Looking for the actual push back into and maybe even through 130. But we cannot pull the trigger there until we get a little bit more to work with. It's going to gap up about $1 this morning, so maybe the gap up will bring a couple buy signals with it. But you got Netflix, some Tesla, some Google. And then for a few names outside of the sexy big tech stuff, we picked up some JP Morgan last week. So JP Morgan, it's a classic nested squeeze setup. So we got all kinds of buy signals. The daily bull squeeze on Friday fired to the upside. So that just begins a process of releasing the energy. And we've got bull squeezes setting up on the 1-hour, the 2-day, and the weekly. So if you do get a bit more of the market breadth improving, a little bit more participation from names outside of semis and tech, from here I'm looking for that domino effect. 1-hour squeeze fires long. The daily squeeze already fired long. From there, you're looking for your 2-day squeeze, and then eventually you're looking for that weekly squeeze to fire as well. So we got some calls here on JP Morgan. And then my last pick for you guys is Boeing. Which admittedly, we missed a pretty good entry in last week. So let's see. Back on Friday, the daily squeeze did fire to the upside. So that begins the release of energy. We are coiled up here on the 2-day. So this looks to me, at least for now, like a pretty good bull flag. Huge push. Whoops. All right, big pump. Consolidation. From here, you look for continuation of the move that brought you here. So huge pump higher. We're squeezing. Indicator shifts bullish. You look for that squeeze to fire to the upside, giving you continuation of that short-term trend. And then you got the weekly squeeze. And all of this is coming together back above that weekly 200. So I think from there, that should open the door for a pretty good push. So any pullback here, we'll probably end up taking a little bit of that Boeing. But that is it, guys and gals. That is all I've got for you this morning. And like I mentioned, be mindful of your catalyst this week. CPI might be a total non-event. The Fed and Jerome might be a total non-event, but good things to know. But yeah, if y'all got any questions, any chart requests, comments, complaints, I got you covered. Look at the spiders go. Again, you got a lot going on this week, so not saying this is what's going to happen, but you got to imagine if anybody's short and they're short with their stops above the August highs, that gap up this morning might hurt a little bit. So even though things are extended, this is where I think things could just continue to go higher from here. You're firing a bunch of squeezes on bigger time frames, and you might be doing that at a level where the market just triggers more short covering. We'll find out, though. We'll all be a lot smarter come Friday. Hey, what's up, Andrew? John, I couldn't tell you. Might be because of the rollover. Not too sure. I do know we had the contract rollover, though, so good observation. That might be it. Eric, so my highest confidence is SPX, NASDAQ, Dow, RUT, or CL. I'm not too sure what you mean by that question. But my view on the market right now is that the weekly squeeze here in the S&Ps that's firing to the upside has definitely got the potential to keep that party going a little bit more. But if we're pulling back to 4,200, I don't think we can be all that shocked either. What does go up will come down eventually. But all right, guys, listen, I'm going to let you go here. Keep it a little short and sweet this morning. But I will be back here today at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. So for those of you in the free room, hopefully y'all can join me later today. Hopefully we got a couple, maybe a couple fresh trade ideas to work with. And we'll see how the day is unfolded up to that point. So for those of you in the mastery, we only got JP Morgan here. And then I don't think you got to be in a huge rush this week. Market opens, you got a perfect setup in front of you. Yeah, you got to pull the trigger. But if you don't have a perfect setup in front of you, I think you kind of put the temptation, the forcey issue aside, at least until we get through the Fed. But all right, guys, have a great morning. For those of y'all in the gold room, I will see you in 15 minutes, and we'll keep the good times going. Talk to you guys later. Adios.